when you walk into a location, we talked about the top 10 things I look for when I walk into a room, right? One of those top 10 things is light modifiers, like natural light modifiers. There is a natural light modifier here. It's a curtain. The curtain is a sheer material and it's white. So if I need to put more light on this side of her face to give it that dimension, I can put another flash here and fire her this way. Or I can do what? Rotate the flash head, right? I can rotate the flash head to the curtain. The curtain will bounce the light back into this side of her face. If I didn't see the opportunities, threats, and strengths and weaknesses of this location, I would be like, okay, I don't know what to do. But as soon as you walk into this room, I said, curtain, that's a natural light modifier. That's it, that's what you do. So she's standing right there. I'm going to basically grab my flash head, and I'm going to fire direct first, okay? Let's see here. I'm on TTL, I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna fire direct. And it looks like, let's see here. Looks like that. Now watch. You're gonna grab the flash head, you're gonna rotate the flash head to the left side. That's gonna be a bounce, and it's gonna bounce the light right back. That's gonna give you a really cool dimension in her face. Okay, take a look at that carefully. You see that little piece of light on the left side of her face? Now, here's where the zoom question will come in for me. It's nice, but I want it a little bit more. I don't want to, I'm not going to raise the power of this. I'm just going to zoom the flash head, okay? So I'm going to zoom the flash head from 24 to 70, okay? And I'm going to, let's see what happens now. And look at the difference between those two. Now, why does that happen? Because the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. So when I made the beam of light more sensitive, when I made the beam of light more narrowed, correct? The light came out, it hit this curtain, and if it hit this angle, it might have bounced that way, it might have bounced that way, and less rays of light hit her directly, so it gives you that high contrast light. Now watch this. I'm gonna go from 70, and I'm gonna zoom the flash head all the way to 200, making it even more sensitive, okay? Whoa. That looks pretty bad. So take a look at that. It's pretty terrible, right? So when people say, my flash is so frustrating, I don't get I don't get this beautiful, it's just like relax. If you remember those 5 behaviors of light, then you would think, instead of freaking out, you would simply think, my light is too harsh. What causes harsh light? A beam of light. A beam of light hits the person and it causes shadows. How do I feel those shadows? With more light hitting her face. So I go, okay, more light hitting her face. I have a curtain and it's not smooth. It's all ripply and it's making all these angles, right? So all you have to do is say, for me to increase the chances of more light hitting her face, I'm going to increase the angles that the light hits the curtain on. Does that make sense? So now, when the beam of light comes out, instead of being a little tiny beam this way, and then it bounces off there or it bounces off there, I'm going to tell my flash, put light in the entire curtain. That way, I don't care if some light goes that way and some light goes this way. There will be like a billion lights going all over the place, giving enough light to illuminate both sides of her face, and you solve that problem. So let's check it out. Okay. Wide angle. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, look how beautiful that looks now. You go from that to one that looks like no flash was used at all. This is why those 5 behaviors of light are always at play, always at play. And if you try to fix flash problems without the 5 behaviors of light in your head, you're probably going to have a hard time, because that solution came from the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. That's what caused that to look that way. Do we have our diffuser, Colin, the Pro Photo one? It's right there at the bottom. Now, at a real job, if I don't have a clean wall, like this is like a curtain, so it's bending all over the place. If I don't have a clean wall, I simply use this. Okay, I grab this. Do you have a reflector? I need just any reflector would work. This is a really cool flash technique that I want to share with everyone that I use. If you put this diffuser on this side of her, and you bounce the light of this angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection is a lot more predictable, right? Because it's a flat surface. That is going all over the place, so you don't know where the angle is going to hit. If you use a diffuser, you're going to get a pretty good look. But the problem is a diffuser is going to put 50–70% of the light is going to go out. So what I do, let me borrow that for a second. I put the diffuser here, and then I put the reflector in front of it, like this. Then I put this way, and now this is not a crazy reflective material. Does that make sense? This is still a diffuse material, but the reflector doesn't let the light escape from the back. So you get a really gorgeous quality of light. Let me show you that. Can we hold that for a second? Let's put that right there. You know how yesterday I used those little clamps? I clamp those two together all the time. Yes?
So you wouldn't use the white side of the reflector yesterday, I think you said, because it's shimmery, the material. Is that right? Just out of ease.
No, that's right. Somebody Facebooked me yesterday and said that they do have one that doesn't have any sheen to it. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen them. The white side of reflectors come with like a glossy material thingy, like it's a crystalline stuff, and that really harshes the light up for me, so I don't use it. This technique works extremely well. This one right here, let's put that up, and I'm going to go further back. Now remember, angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection, right? So the angle of your flash has to match where she's at and where that diffuser is. That was another problem at a workshop. People were doing it, and the light was not reaching the person at all because the angle was hitting the back or something like this. So I'm going to quickly do a quick angle check. I'm going to hit that. That has been angled to compensate for my angle, flash head, and then that's going to bounce and hit her in the face. So, okay. Too much power. Let me lower this. And that's quite soft and beautiful. Okay, check that out. That's the one that's too much power. Look how nice that looks. Now, one side of her face is a little bit brighter than the other one. And now I can predict exactly where the light's going to be because I'm putting my diffuser and my reflector together. I'm clamping them together. Do you guys ever use that technique? Another? It's going to be like a lifesaver for you.
So if I made a diffuser with diffusion as your white, you'd buy it?
I would buy it like right now. Like I would buy 2. Okay? This also works if you have a red wall, gray walls, and you don't want to color cast. Okay? If you don't want to color cast, put that technique like that, and it would make it work. Remember this though. I've seen people do this. And the flash head is coming this way. And I'm like, no. Angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. So if you bounce the light this way, it's just going to go out the same way it came in. See what I mean? He has to come in at an angle, and the angle has to match to hit her. So it has to be this way. Let's see what happens if I just use the diffuser. Okay? Let's try that. It's going to look good, but it's going to look a little better, a little more kick with a reflector. So let's put that here. Yeah, it flattened it a little bit. too flat for my taste there. So the reflector does work better. If you put the diffuser here and the reflector behind it, gives you more control, and the light is totally soft. If we go outside right now and you use the technique, you will give people the most amazing quality of light, and nobody will ever know you use flash. It will just look super soft, okay? Okay, another one is zooming the flash, putting the flash head up towards you, okay? If you put it all the way up, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection again. So it's gonna go up into the ceiling and then come straight down. It's gonna bounce light everywhere. So that's fine. What I like to do is do a 45-degree light, and then it's gonna kind of match this way. And this is a silly thing I do, but it works like a charm for me. In order to control the angle, I pull out the white card, okay? And I actually bend it a little bit. So that's it. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna hit this one first, and it's gonna look pretty much flat. Now, I'm going to grab the white card, and I'm just gonna give it a little kick, and I'm gonna make a little more light hitter directly. People ask me all the time, what happens in receptions or places where there's no ceiling? You can't bounce the light. That's what I do. This is the ceiling. So I just keep bending the light this way, okay? So, it's a little bit more powerful now. A little more power. Try this one more time. Look at that. Just a little bit more of a notch of power there. You see that? So at receptions, if you have no ceiling or no roof, that's a different segment, but if the flash comes out this way, most of the light's gonna go up, a little bit of the light's gonna hit this card, and it's going to hit her in the eye. It's gonna give you a catch light. That's what this is for. It's kind of, they call it a catch light card or whatever. But if your ceiling is red or blue or black or brown or whatever the color of this is, or you have no ceiling at all, then the flash hits this, you're gonna make it hit even more of it, and it's gonna basically bend the flash forward without doing this, because that's direct flash, okay?